Hi guys, let's tune in. Today we will be talking about using people's judgments of you for your benefit. Judgment in itself, it's not always a great thing. We don't want to judge people by their outer appearance, what they're wearing, or even a single moment that you met them, or even a few moments. We as people have many facets of ourselves, so the ways in which you saw a person at one time in their lives is not giving you a full picture. Now, if you see somebody belligerently drunk on the street, you're not going to come closer to that person because your safety is more protected with you being further away. That is you making a judgment call. We make many different judgment calls across our life. It is not a bad thing. It's a great survival skill. But now I want to talk about using people's judgments of you for your benefit. I'm going to use myself as an example and different situations across my life that will hopefully help you. I am a beautiful woman. I am a curvy woman. I'm quite a giggly and bubbly, fun woman in the wild, outside of tuning forks. And because of that, normally people will approach me for a particular reason. You can notice the ways in which your friends describe you, your jobs describe you, your family, and why strangers approach you. Normally, strangers will approach me because they're interested, right? Which is not a bad thing. But normally, when I start geeking out on emotional intelligence or whatever I'm currently learning about, they tend to skedaddle because I'm not meeting their expectations of their judgment call of me, right? And understanding this about myself, there are things that I can do to make myself appear more like my actual self rather than if I wanted all of the attention in the world, right? I would just come at people. I'd show some more skin, right? There's ways that you can also use this to manipulate people. If you manipulate somebody in any area of your life, you're going to have to play that role for as long as you want that person. And right, there's karma. Why don't you just be yourself to attract your actual tribe? Be a tuning fork, right? Be your authentic self rather than trying to get something from somebody. I don't know. That's just my take on this. But there's ways in which you can act to either combat the way people are perceiving you or to lean into it a bit more. I'm going to talk about a time in my life where I had a job. This job, I was a tutor and they asked me to help with a particular project. I went out of the scope of work very much so, and it got brought up later in a meeting with HR. I'm working to get my back pay. Basically in the meeting, it's like, hey, what have you done outside of the scope of work? Can you prove it? Who told you to do these things? And I had notes and logs of all of the work that I had done, every single meeting, every time that I taught, plus this other thing that I did, right? There were so many different things that I have evidence for that it was just the moment when I saw their faces of like, oh, she gonna get paid. And it's like, yes, I am. I didn't get paid as much as I should have, but that's a different story. The point is, they were perceiving me to not be very intelligent. And once I got over that judgment, right? Because being judged and being projected upon because of other people's ignorance doesn't feel good. It doesn't. But once you just understand, hey, this is a part of life, and now that they perceive me to be dumb, and I know that, guess what I can do? I now have the upper hand. I have the element of surprise. I have the element of surprise because you do not see me coming. See it. They don't see it because they're so far in their own ego, and as long as I represent a character that strokes theirs, it's fine. It's fine. Once you take that inventory across your life, that doesn't mean that those people are correct. It just means it's the way you're being perceived. And either you can try to start changing certain parts of your character to meet a different expectation, or you can continue to just be yourself and have the element of surprise. I want to talk about the element of surprise a bit more, because that was quite a long time ago that I realized the way people were perceiving me. But now I have emotional intelligence and pattern recognition under my belt. This is a very different circumstance now. So when people approach me, if I don't immediately geek them away, scare them off, and I'm just in my jovial state of being, I can now perceive you as you're judging me. If I already understand the way that I appear can seem to be promiscuous, can seem to be naive, can be easy to get got. Now, as I'm sitting there, I can see your motivations. I can see your intentions. I can see how far you're willing to go if I don't correct your behavior. Don't get me wrong. I do believe we all need accountability. Accountability, if nobody has it, everybody would do what serves their best interests. And remember, a spiritual awakening is simply when new information comes to the forefront. So when I meet these characters in the wild that think that they can one-up me, there are times where I like to jolt their pattern that they're living in and say like, hey, wake up, I see you. I see you. But after a little bit while of thinking that they're winning, that they're convincing me of something, whatever the case may be. Because, growing up with a lot of trauma and different types of predatory characters, I was raised by the game, I just didn't turn into an evil person because of it. Thank you, God. Love you. This last example that I'm giving you is a bit cray-cray, because when I'm meeting these people, if I decide to jolt their reality, to challenge their ego, to wear my mask, and it's not even a mask because it's really who I am, but wear it as a mask, not clocking them, then I get to see the reveal of their mask, right? And you have to be careful with this, because normally when you're challenging an ego, they can react in a way that is unpredictable, because you saw them, because you challenged them. They're literally like, how do you say, like glitching, right? From their mask and who they actually are. So you just have to be very careful if you really understand what I'm putting down. But the point is that you can use people's judgments of you to your benefit and take an inventory of your life, combat it, or use it again to survive, and even to educate other people at times. So that's my little lesson for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and again, use this information for good. And I'll talk to you soon. I love ya. Stay tuned in. Bye.